What is going on, Grinders? It's Chief. We're in the building. It is Take Your Pick'em. It is Friday. We're here at the weekend, June 16th, 2023, and I am elated to come on and talk with you beautiful people in this community about the pick'em sites, about Underdog, about PrizePicks, about Vivid, about Thrive, in any of the sites that you play on, Hot Streak. We definitely want to help you guys out. And I'm just incredibly thankful and grateful that I have this opportunity to talk with you guys and try to share some plays each day, day in and day out. So I'm super appreciative, and it's a blessing to be here. And so, of course, as you know, we try to kick this show off with something positive called Winning Words of Wisdom. And usually there's a quote that I have, and there's, a quote by a person or a famous person that we're able to pull. But today I want to talk about actually an experience of positivity. And so for those of you that don't know, I do coach girls basketball here locally. And so I had the pleasure of coaching our JV team on yesterday. We had a game at the athletic center here locally in my area. And what was interesting about this particular scenario was, as we were playing the game, there just weren't a lot of calls during the game, foul calls on both sides. So it was very, very even. Girls were falling on the floor. Seems like they were getting pushed, tripped up, getting just beat down. And the refs weren't really calling. So it was a very loose game. They kind of let the girls play a little bit. And so, I went and I looked, and I saw that our girls were getting very frustrated. They did not like the type of game they were in. They were in a dogfight on yesterday. And so I called the timeout because I realized the posture of the team was just kind of going down. And I said, girls, talk to me. What's going on? Coach, they're hitting me. I got hit in the face. The girl tripped me up. The refs aren't calling anything. I said, no problem. I said, here's what I want all of you to do. And I told the team, I said, I want you to stop what you're doing. Stop drinking your water. I said, I want you to look up at the scoreboard. I said, who's winning the game? They said, well, we're winning the game, coach. I said, exactly. So for all of the bad things that they thought was happening in the game, we were up by about 10 points at that point. I said, we're winning the game. I said, so don't give away the game by thinking negatively. And so, look, I want to share that with you guys because I think that's something that can have an impact just in everyday life, especially in the pick'em game. Don't give away the game by thinking negatively. There have been a lot of times where it's been the middle of the month, and I'm like, man, I feel like I haven't been having a great month, and I look and I'm still up on the month. So don't give it away with negative thinking. Continue to grind, continue to be positive, and good things will come your way. All right. Hopefully that inspires someone today. All right, let's go over our recap. So on yesterday, we actually ended up with a split yesterday. Very disappointed with that split, but that's okay. So we had Dylan Cease. We wanted less than the 5.5 strikeout projection. He soared past that. PrizePicks did give us a hot dog at 4. I did take it, and so I was able to recoup a little bit back on that one. At Stroman, 5.5 strikeouts. We wanted less than that projection. We won that one. Eovaldi, 1.5 walks. We wanted less than that. I mean, last inning, walks a guy and just destroys that one. So we lost that one. Then Smith Shawver at 4.5 strikeouts. We wanted more than that projection. We were able to win that one against Colorado. So we went with the split yesterday on the month right now, 11, 19, and 1. So all we need, we get one sweep, and then we're right back climbing out of the hole. And then one of the things, too, that I love about the prop game is we could be, 12, 20, and 1 and still be profitable. So that's something that's very interesting. That's a little bit different in terms of the pick'em sites. You hit a 6 flex card or something like that, and it really can really set up your week, set up your month, depending on where your unit size is. So I'm so grateful once again for all of you joining me. And now we are going to dig into the plays. So first up on the docket today, this is a guy that I feel like has been, I don't want to say struggling, but I think he's going to struggle in this spot. And this is kind of a truther. This guy comes up a lot, and that's going to be Mr. Martin Perez. Martin Perez is going to be facing the Toronto Blue Jays today, and I was actually shocked that we were able to get him at this number. And so he's at 17.5 pitching outs currently. And so when we look at Martin Perez, obviously, we know he's a lefty, as we can see on the season so far, 60% K rate total, 18% to lefty, 16.3% to righty, 16.6% on the season. And in the past 30 days, 16% flat, 14.3% to lefty, 16.2% to righties, 7% walk rate. So historically, he is a guy that isn't going to throw a lot of balls. He is going to pound the strike zone. But when we look at the Toronto Blue Jays, this team, at least the projected lineup here, has a projected K percentage of 19%. And so when I see that, that's something that's really piqued my interest here, because he should not pick up a lot of strikeouts. And what we really want to see is the ball in play, right? So sometimes there can be lack of strikeouts, but guys are just hitting the ball on the ground. And so if he gets quick innings, that's going to hurt us. But I definitely think the Toronto Blue Jays have a chance to put the ball in play here. Now, Martin Perez is a guy that is typically, he's throwing sinker, he's throwing cutter, so that is going to keep the ball on the ground. But I think this Toronto team can definitely pile up some runs today and can definitely run up the pitch count. So the other thing that I always like about Martin Perez when I'm taking less than the 17.5 pitching outs projection is that he typically doesn't go deep into games. So I would say he's more of a 90 and under pitches type of pitcher in Texas versus like a 100 pitch pitcher and under. So if he's somewhere around 88 pitches through 5, then my assumption is he won't clear the 17.5 pitching outs, and we hope that they go ahead and pull him at that time. Really what we want to see is the Toronto Blue Jays come out and just really pound Martin Perez today. Balls flying everywhere, making sure that they're scoring runs, and that will increase our chances of him going under that particular projection. So once again, first play of the day, and this is one of my favorites here, Martin Perez, 17.5 pitching outs. We definitely want less than that projection. All right, we're going to move to our next play here. And this is one that I'm rolling with the fact that this is a team that hasn't been striking out a ton. And I've kind of been taking unders against this team or less than against this team mostly all season. And it's pretty much worked out long term. And so that's going to be Mr. Tristan McKenzie. So we've got Tristan McKenzie. They're going to be in Arizona. Tristan McKenzie on the season. Obviously, we see a 58% K rate, but that's skewed dramatically based on his first game. I think he had about 10 strikeouts and then maybe had 5 against Houston or something like that. But all in all, as we can see here, this is just a team that doesn't strike out a ton. And then they've also got a lot of power up at the top of this lineup. Now, the bottom half of the lineup, we have lack of strikeouts, but lack of power as well. But at the top of the lineup, what we see here is from Pavin Smith, 17% K rate. Ketel Marte, 17% K rate. Corbin Carroll, 22% K rate. Christian Walker, 17%. Lourdes Gurriel, 19.6%. And then, but the power numbers, 187, 184, 354, 199, 285, respectively. And then we've got Rojas, who doesn't strike out a ton, of McCarthy, but their power numbers are very low. So we shouldn't be expecting them to hit home runs. We do have Carson Kelly, if he cracks the lineup, if he plays today, at a 28% K rate in limited batted ball events this season. But we've also got Geraldo Perdomo, which is kind of my favorite 9-hole hitter this season, sitting here at a 209 ISO and a 20% K rate, 379 WOBA. So, and this is what I want you to see is this is last season for Tristan McKenzie, 25% K rate, 27.5 to lefties, 24% to righties. I think he should normalize back around that area. So I'm not really worried about it. Definitely think he will be slightly hittable today, and I definitely think the strikeouts will be minimized as they're playing in Arizona with this particular team. So one of the things that I do like about this offense as well is, excuse me, we see that there's really one high K bat, they're 20% overall, but they really have a good concentration of low K bats all through the lineup. So it's not like one guy is at 30%, another guy at 28%, another guy at 30%, and then a collection of 10% and 20%. They're pretty much spread out throughout this lineup, throughout the particular lineup that you see here. They're pretty much a low K team all the way through. And so that's something else that I really like, because sometimes you have a low strikeout offense. And let's kind of talk through that. And let's kind of give you an example here. Let's go to the Miami Marlins, who are a high strikeout offense. Don't get me wrong. But as you can see with the Marlins, like they've got Arias here at 3%, Segura at 16%, and then they also have I can't remember that. There's their first baseman, Gurriel. Yeah, is it Gurriel? I think it's Gurriel. Either way, he's a low strikeout bat as well. So overall, as a team, this team strikes out, but then they have 2 or 3 bats that don't strike out at all. That's not what we see with Arizona, is what I'm saying. We've got a plethora of low strikeout bats, and so I really like this opportunity against Mr. McKenzie today. So we've got McKenzie at 5.5 strikeouts. We want less than that particular projection. All right, so this one, I'm going to give this one out. This one is going to be a PrizePicks only. This is a PrizePicks only, but I do really like it today. And it's up the fantasy points variety. And so that is going to be none other than Miles Mikolas facing one of the team that I probably hate this team the most in MLB, and not because they're in my division, but just because, man, they're hot or cold, and sometimes they stick it up. But I just don't trust Mikolas today on the road to get the job done. And so that's the New York Mets. And I do hate the fact that that the polar bear is not in this lineup, but I still think there's enough here to get to him. So we've got Mikolas at 28.5 fantasy points. I want less than that projection. I do want to see what the bat says about Mikolas today. I'm assuming the bat is going to be close to this, probably around 27, 28. Let's see what they have Mikolas at this morning. And so we've got Miles Mikolas at wait a minute, they're not giving me okay, yeah, we've got Miles Mikolas at 24 fantasy points. Bat definitely agrees with my take on this particular situation. And so I think this is a good opportunity for us when the data points align across all the things that we look at. A lot of times I get very excited. So, and then we've got Mikolas here as well. And this is the DraftKings projection. So that's one of the cool things about this particular tool that I'll show off here. You can take it to FanDuel and then look. So, wait a minute. Now we got to go back to Mikolas, back to that particular game. And then we'll see. We've got him at 32.65. That's the projection in the, I guess, the RotoGrinders projections. I'm going to disagree with that. The bat disagrees. But I definitely think that the Mets have enough to get to Mikolas today. So we see on the season, Mikolas has an 18.5% K rate, 18% to lefties, 18% to righties pretty much. Last 30 days, Mikolas is at 14%. He's a 14% K rate, 12% to lefties, 18.5% to righties. So as we look at that, once again, I know Pete Alonso isn't in the lineup, and we do have, some strikeouts kind of in the middle of this order. But what I'm hoping is that Nemo, he's typically a pretty good hitter. He can get there. Marte. Hopefully these guys can put the ball in play enough, score a few runs along the way. And then I definitely think that will help us get rolling in terms of the props that we the pick'em squares that we like today. So hopefully this is a good spot for us here with Mikolas. Once again, that one is going to be PrizePicks only, 28.5 fantasy points. We want less than that particular projection. All right, folks. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of go through a quick recap here. We've got some nice plays on the board. Also, I'm not sure if PrizePicks is going to do Flex Friday, where they will refund your card or give you promo for the card if you don't win, or if they're going to do an increased payout. I haven't looked at it. It's probably already rolled out now that I'm on the show. But also, go ahead and take advantage of that as well. We definitely want to take advantage of it. All right, so we're going to go back, do a quick recap of what we're talking about today. So at the top of the list, and this is my favorite play on the day, we've got Martin Perez at 17.5 pitching outs. We want less than that projection. We've got Tristan McKenzie, 5.5 strikeouts. We want less than that projection. And then we've got Miles Mikolas, 28.5 fantasy points. That's PrizePicks only, 28.5 fantasy points. We want less than that projection. Folks, thanks so much for joining me on Take Your Pick'em. I'm Chief. It's the weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Let's get the sweet. Come in with your pockets empty. Leave with your pockets full. I will see you on Monday.